Everybody, welcome to Muscular Development's preview of not one, but two pro shows happening this Sunday, October 9th. In Reno, Nevada, we have the Legion Sports Fest, and over in Rome, Italy, we have the Tsunami Pro. Joining me, of course, to help give you guys the preview and the lowdown on all this, all the way from the United Kingdom, Giles Tiger Thomas. What's up, Giles?
It's actually three pro shows because there's a 212 show in Argentina this weekend.
Good Lord. So many shows. Wow. Let's start with Legion because I don't think we're going to get the dramatic storyline that we had last year. Last year was a precedent. We had 212 champion Sean Clarita 2 weeks after the Olympia because last year the Legion was a post-Olympia show and it qualified for this year's Olympia. So this year's Legion also qualifies people for this year's Olympia. Interestingly enough, yeah. Oh. Isn't that something? So yeah. Sean, yeah. So 2 years in a row, this show qualified you for the 2022 Olympia. And so Sean Clarita last year, a dramatic story at 170 pounds. He beat Regan Grimes, was about 270. Sergio Oliva Jr. was about 280. So talk about a real giant killer.
Oh, but you're worse than the pros for exaggerating. Sean was 174 because he dropped from 177 from the Olympia.
Okay.
And then Regan, because I spoke to Milos, he weighed it because Milos filmed him on the scales. He was 254. Oh. And I think Sergio was, you're only about 10 pounds over. You do what most pros do. You add about 10 pounds, 20 pounds here and there.
It's called embellishment. Yeah. So Sergio was at least 270 because he's a huge framed 6'1" guy. But let's get into it because the top pick for this is Justin Rodriguez, who I thought was all done for 2022. He's already done. This season alone, he started off with a 5th at the Arnold Classic. I saw him there. And then a week later here in Boston, 2nd place to William Bonac, went to Indy Pro and took 4th place. A couple weeks after that, he goes to New York Pro in 5th place. So 4 shows already this season. Wow. And looking at the point standings now, as it stands at this moment, he is qualified for the Olympia. He is 3rd in the point standings, but I'm sure he wants to solidify that and lock it up because there are a few more shows and somebody could creep ahead of him that's a little bit down the list. But Justin Rodriguez, looking at this list, he's my favorite to win this particular show, looking at the lineup.
I would say so. But the thing is, like you, I thought he was done for the year. Like because I think I messaged him a couple of months ago and he says, no, I'm out. I'm done for the year. I'm going to rest up. And then before we started filming, you told me about the point standings because I asked. Yep. And it's interesting because I didn't realize he was in the top 3 point standings, which he is. So this is a good show for him to do because if he gets the win, he's qualified. If he gets 2nd, really, he's going to probably solidify that be in the top 3 point standings. So he will qualify. Yeah. So I'm really glad because I was a bit gutted because I'm a big fan of Justin. And I'm really glad that he is doing this extra show because I want to see him at the Olympia because he's moved up now to a legit 2-time top 10 Olympia guy. what was his placings? I was getting mixed up with Valier's placings, but he's around like the 7th, 8th, 9th mark, isn't he?
Yeah, Valier was 7th. So I want to say Justin was 8th or 9th. I don't think he was down 10th, but yeah, you're top 10 at the Olympia twice. You should be in the Olympia every year. Your way, earn your way there, which you did.
That's a legit second call out kind of level guy, who's knocking on the door like Valier, like Hunter Hunter was 4th last year, but there's a guy that's on the verge of hitting the ceiling of the first call out. So I was really, really happy to hear that he was kind of, making another run for this year's Olympia. So yeah, on paper, really, he kept this pretty quiet and I just hope he looks really good because by the New York Pro, his body was really fighting against him and he was really starting to fade. I'm glad that he's took this break and I think it'll work in his favor. And but yeah, on paper, I think we'd be silly to not say he is the favorite. Yeah.
So New York, he's had a few months here to let his body recover and all that. So I hope to see him at 100% because if he's 100%, these guys are we got a few other good guys here, but he's my favorite. Yes.
Do you know who he's working with right now?
No, who?
I don't know. I'm just asking.
I thought you were going to tell me. I don't know. But let's move on to Jamie Christian. On this score sheet, he's just known as Jamie Christian. There's no hyphen Johal there. So Jamie has also had a busy season so far. Recently, he was 3rd in France, 6th at the Arnold UK, 4th at the Yamamoto Italy. He's pretty far down the point standings, so he really needs to pick up some points if he wants to get the Olympia. Interestingly enough, the Tsunami Pro, which we'll talk about soon, he's on the list for that. However, I just checked his Instagram stories. He's in Nevada. He cannot be in Nevada and Rome, Italy at the same time. So he's definitely in this show and not the Tsunami Pro. So let me cross him off that list. But Jamie getting tighter and tighter. I think this could be a really good showing for him.
Well, I did it in Global, which is coming out tomorrow. I did like a kind of an analysis in Hot News of, because I was speaking to Milos, I think yesterday morning, about the look that he brought to the Arnold UK and the look he brought to France. Because when I was watching the kind of live stream footage, looking at the photos from France, this completely contradicts what I kind of go for in terms of conditioning. But I thought he was definitely sharper at France. But I actually do prefer the look he brought to the Arnold UK, because for me, a guy that size with a frame that big, I think he does look slightly better. Who did I speak to in the episode? Josh Malley. Sorry, I've just revealed who's in the episode. Josh Malley, his friend of his who trains at his gym, who's 6'6", the new pro. And he said he gained 2% condition, but lost kind of 5% fullness. And honestly, weighing it up, I actually prefer the Arnold UK look. And I spoke to Milos, and Milos said, yes, at France, he said he had one less day to kind of fill out and carb up. And then Milos told me the thousands of grams of carbs it takes to fill him out. So I said, mate, I know this is easier said than done, Milos. I said, but if you could get the France condition with the fullness of the Arnold UK, I said, and you've got, because he's flown out there nice and early. I saw the video that Chris Minns put up today. He's there now. So it's not like he's flying in at the last minute. And Milos, I'm assuming, with it being Reno and Vegas, I'm assuming Milos will be with him.
He better be.
So I think we're going to see an all-time best Jamie. And like I said, there was people that thought he should have won last weekend in France.
Yeah.
I mean, when Mark Hector first came out in France, he was very watery, but I've never seen anyone tighten up so fast. It's very rare that happens anymore, because I thought, oh no, he's blown it. He's not sharp enough from the back. But he because I actually had Jamie second. I think you did as well. We were doing the live thing, the live watch party. Yeah. And I thought, God, he's going to get second here, maybe even get the win. I don't know. I think Patrick kind of had it on a lock, really.
Yeah,
but
never beating Patrick. No.
Yeah, so I'm really thinking that we're going to see an all-time best Jamie here, and he seems to do well, because if you remember, even a couple of weeks out before the Arnold UK, he was over in Vegas traveling, and he said to me, and he said, I know it's a lot of pressure. He says, in the last few weeks of prep, traveling to America and doing all this, he says, but I mean, the proof's in the pudding. He brought a really good package, and it didn't seem to affect him negatively. So I think we're going to see a best version of Jamie. And I'm telling you what, I mean, if Justin's not in condition, do you know what I mean? If he comes in thinking it might be an easy win, and Jamie's actually nailed it, which I fully expect him to, I think he's going to have a fight on his hands.
Yeah, we've been having this argument the past few shows that we've covered. Are they starting to get away from condition a little bit and going more towards just shape and size? I don't think so. I think it's always going to be a total package, but Justin, like anybody, if you come in off, you get beat. It's unless you're like Mr. Olympia, and then you got to knock out Mr. Olympia, right? But yeah, it's certainly Jamie's show. Jamie could be a real surprise, and I'd be very happy to see him finally win a pro show, because he's been making such great improvements. But let's get into
hang on. But like I said about Jamie, I said in the watch party, really apart from the front double bicep, his physique looks its absolute best in the compulsory poses. Like now he's got more thickness. He looks really dull. I think he looks as good in the side shots as he does in the front shots now. His rear lat spread he's got more width and more sort of kind of taper to his lats. And I think it's only like even his rear double bicep's very good. It's just the frontal bicep. I think, you see how tall he is, and I think it kind of detracts from his physique. But every other compulsory pose, ab and thigh, most muscular, side chest, side tricep, front lat spread. I mean, as you know, he's rear lat spread. I mean, he absolutely kills it in those shots. Yeah,
his front lat spread might be the best, might be my favorite in the sport, even though there are other people who are thicker and so forth. Just the proportions, the shape. I love his front lat spread.
Who's even as good as him in the front lat spread? I mean, I can't off the top of my head now. I can't even think of one.
Yeah, you know what? When I think about people who are thicker, I don't like Rami's lat spread that much. I don't like Nick Walker. The people that are super thick, a lot of times they look bunched up, just too thick. There's not much beauty to the shot. So, and one thing I want to add about height. You should never be able to tell if someone's short or tall by seeing them by themselves. If they are, that tells you that the limb length proportions are a little off. Either the limbs are a little too short because they're a real short person, or they're a little long. So
Well,
when we're talking about ideal
the good thing about Jamie is he's got good quads. So otherwise you would think, oh, he's too tall to be a good pro, but he has good legs. So he's got that on lock.
Yeah. So let's get into the next guy. He's a hometown favorite, Tonio Burton. And I talked to Chris Minnis, like Minnesota. I had to get the right pronunciation. He actually was the one who talked Tonio into doing his first show a few years ago. Tonio Burton is from Reno, and I'd never heard of him, but last year he burst on the scene. He won the 212 at the Indy Pro, goes to the Olympia a few months later, got 10th place in his first Olympia. Then he jumped into Legion Sports and did open and took 4th right behind Regan and Sergio. Let's see what else. He also, what am I saying? Chicago Pro just a couple months ago. He was 2nd place to Antoine Vallant. So he's somebody who's been making dramatic, rapid improvements. 212, he didn't last long. He was in 212 very, very briefly. And he's already established himself as an excellent open competitor. You know, we've both compared him to people like, you know, Dexter, Phil, just that round, bubbly look to the muscles, really nice structure. But Tonio is someone I wouldn't count him out for this win either, honestly.
100%. Yeah, no, I really rate Tonio. I'm trying to get him on Global. We keep missing each other, but I'm hopefully going to get him in for next episode, the one after episode 7.
Yeah.
But with how successful he was instantly as an open, tells me that he must have really struggled to make 212 because, I mean, the size looks really good on him as an open, and he's not losing any kind of size to the open guys. You think, you know, some of these 212 guys, you know, I think they've proven this year that like Sean Clarida, Kamal, you know, that some of these guys don't even have to put on a stack of weight to be competitive. It's about being a complete physique. And for me as an open, he's more complete. I mean, his rear double bicep and his rear lat spread. I mean, when you see him like in videos and stuff, if you took a screenshot and showed it to someone, you'd think it was Photoshopped.
Yeah.
Because his back is absolutely phenomenal. And I think his frontal bicep and his rear double bicep reminds me of a lot of Dexter, especially in the intercostals and the longer waist and the torso shape. And his quad sweep, he really reminds me of a peak Dexter. So, I mean, he's got big shoes to fill there. But, I mean, how old is he? I've not asked him. Do you know how old he is?
I'm going to say he's late, probably about 30, somewhere around 30 is my bet. I know I should know that off the bat. But when I talked to him in Chicago, he's not that much heavier. I think he's like 220, 222. Yeah. So that, you know, that makes a massive difference. I mean, 10 pounds of muscle, especially where most bodybuilders aren't very tall people, that's a big difference. It makes him look so much fuller and rounder. So yeah, he figured out very quickly 212 was not for him. But
I think he's very complete though. I think he'll get a bit more muscle maturity as he goes along, because I hope he just doesn't keep becoming like Ramy was for those first few years as in the Olympia. He was kind of just becoming a bigger same version. He wasn't actually fixing the separation. He wasn't fixing the imbalances. I just hope that, because I think he's got a really nice, pleasing physique, you know, and Dexter didn't have to get super, super huge to be successful. And I think he could kind of fit in that kind of position quite nicely. Yeah. So I would love to see him with a little bit more muscle quality and just completely balanced, completely shredded, deep separation. And I think there's a guy that could be a top 6 Olympia guy in a couple of years.
Yeah, because, you know, Dexter didn't come out of the gate winning shows and top 3. It took him a good year or two to really get things going and find his groove. And I think that's what we're seeing with Tonio. I think he's someone who's going to be an A-lister very, very soon, if you don't already consider him one.
Just a bit of random fact. You know, Dexter, when he was a bantamweight, and then by the time he was competing at 140 pounds, and by the end of his career, he was competing at 240 pounds, 100 pounds, 100 pounds heavier.
Yeah, and this is someone who's 5'6". It's not 100
100
pounds on somebody that tall. That's insane. But yeah, I did know that, because I've written a lot of articles about Dexter.
Yeah.
Next up is Stanimal, as he's known. Stanimal, like Stan and an animal combined. His actual name is Stan de Longueur. That's my attempt at French pronunciation. Stan he turned pro in men's physique. Actually won a show. He won the San Marino Pro, I believe, as a physique back. I think the one you were at, 2017.
Might have been.
Yeah, I believe so. And then switched over to classic, kept putting muscle on, and now he's an open competitor. So he's got the same proportions. His waist, his midsection doesn't seem to be getting any bigger. He's just getting, you know, more thicker and more complete all around. So Stan's a guy, especially because this lineup, it's not stacked. We don't have like 50 guys in the open or anything. I think he's got a good chance at first call out and a good place in here.
100%. In fact, I spoke to Patrick Tour yesterday, I think it was, because he posted an update picture of Stan.
Yeah.
And I said, wow, I said, you've done a really good job with this physique. I said, I said, he's got symmetry, he's got condition, he's got separation. He ticks absolutely every single box. And you'd think really if a guy was men's physique, you'd think it would take him a number of years to even be even remotely competitive. But look what he's done in just like 2 or 3 years. It's absolutely phenomenal. Well, 4 or 5 years, isn't it, over?
Yeah.
But I mean, he's got a really good quality physique. And kind of almost like in the Sean Roden, his old training partner, the symmetry, the balance. I mean, it's everything's there. I mean, I can't pick him apart really. It's very hard to maybe just say, oh, it's coming bigger. But I think he's really, really good, and I think he'll land in around 4th. I think that's a safe bet. I think he's pretty much he's a guarantee for first call out. But from what I saw in those pictures, he looked absolutely superb. Yeah,
and last gentleman I want to talk about in Legion from Michigan is Kenneth Jackson, because I've known Kenneth for years. Sometimes he doesn't compete for a while and he comes back. He's had long breaks of a year or two away from the stage, but keeps coming back, keeps pushing. He has never retired, never given up. So, shout out to Kenneth, and I hope he does well at this show.
I interviewed him in 2011 at the Arnold Classic on the Gaspari booth when Neil Hill was prepping him.
Yeah,
that was 10 years ago.
I know.
Okay. Nice time
flies. All right, let's get into the next show, which is the same day. And I heard you're waking up while you're closer to the time zone. So you're going to be doing some early coverage Sunday on this channel for Tsunami Pro in Rome, because Italy is 6 hours ahead of me and you're 5 hours ahead. So you're closer. And then I don't expect you to stay up for this Legion, because that's 3 hours behind me. And my goodness, it's going to end at what? It'll probably end at like 6 in the morning your time, something like that, 5 in the morning. So
I'll be dead.
I'll take it. Don't worry about that one. So looking at the names on this, my favorite, he's not on the list, but I'm pretty sure he's doing it. He said he was doing it, is James Hollingshead. James was in the Arnold UK, obviously, just a couple of weeks ago. Liked his look a lot. I think he's got all the size he needs now. He just needs to keep working on refining everything, trying to get better separation and muscle quality. But he's probably on paper my favorite to win this show, the Tsunami Pro in Rome.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see James going up against Mark Hector, because Mark was better last week in France. But I said to him, I messaged him a few times. I said, mate, you still need to get tighter, because he said he was 10 pounds lighter in France, but he still needs to be sharper. So he did say that he was going to be bringing his best. So having said that, you've kind of got it's like Flex Wheeler versus Dorian. That's those style of physiques. You've got the heavy, dense, thick, Branch Warren, Dorian Yates style, just masses of mass on James.
Gobs of
muscle. He's a monster, and he's an absolute monster. Like I said, I've said many times, he's someone you probably have to see in the flesh to fully appreciate. Like I did with Branch 10 years ago, you've got to see this guy in the flesh just to see how dense he is. Yeah. But I thought he looked absolutely fantastic at the Arnold UK. I thought his condition was very good. Like you said, the muscle separation, I think hopefully that will come. But like you said, you're usually too distracted by how much thickness and how much size he's got. His legs have just gone to a next level. I mean, like you said, the sweep on them is just ridiculous.
Yeah, he was runner-up to Andrew, wasn't he?
No.
Was he third?
Third, yeah.
Third. Who was second? We know Andrew Jack won in the Arnold UK.
My mind's gone completely blank. Oh my God. Oh, Patrick Johnson.
Okay, yeah, Patrick. So
actually, it was close between him and Patrick, though. It was close between Jamie the Giant and Mark Hector, because Mark was off, and then it was really close between James and Patrick. So many people had him second, but then I guess James has a huge fan base, so they are going to say that.
I mean, in our chat, we always have a live chat going during our coverage, and a lot of people had him. Clearly, a lot of Hollingshead fans, they had him winning. So
winning, okay, yeah. Well, you know what? I mean, that's. I've been quite critical about the improvements I think Andrew Jack needs to make. There are a lot of holes in his physique that I think he will fill out over a couple of years. But that wasn't a clear win by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah. So we go to
Mark. We get more hate.
Mark Hector, second place in France, and like I said, and he was 5th at the Arnold UK. But I've never seen it. I've never seen someone make that dramatic an improvement in the space of about 40 minutes on stage the way that guy did. He started out, and like you said, when he turned around, like, oh no, he blew it. Here we go, fifth fifth place, fourth place, fifth place. That's where I had him. But every call out, he got tighter and tighter. And by the end, I was like, wow, he might even win this, because he had some things that Patrick Johnson doesn't have. It's a little more of an aesthetic physique, and he's got some freaky body parts. But if he's even tighter, just a little bit tighter, he could take this one.
Well, considering he was still not in peak condition, I mean, like you said, I was absolutely blown away, because by the end, in 40 minutes, we were going, oh, he's blown it to shit. Is he going to win this? Because it was like he was just sharpening up, wasn't he? And I was like, that happens very rarely. I mean, that was incredible. But he only lost by 1 point. It was 4-5.
Wow.
So it was very close. And I've got Patrick in this Global Muscle, and Patrick said he wasn't happy with how he looked in France. He thinks he looked better at the RGK. Huh. And I found the edits. I put the high quality footage in, and he did look a lot better at the RGK. So really, Patrick nearly left the door open to let Mark sneak up on him there. So that was close. So if Mark can do what he did again, because the mid back is still very blurry, and I want to see that. I wanted to see him, just want to see him lighter. I just don't think this 27 pounds, and it was probably more like 20 or 18 or maybe even less of actual quality muscle tissue. The rest was just kind of water. So I'm really excited to see. I just hope we get to see Mark at his best, and I want to see James at his best, and I want to just see them going at it, because like I said, they're completely different styles of physiques. And I honestly can't predict who will win this.
Well, that's the way we like it. We like it to be a battle. I mean, if we knew who was going to win, what would be the point? Another guy who's got a good chance, Mohammed El Elam from Egypt, by way of Russia, St. Petersburg, Russia. Mohammed, I can't recall off the top of my head. He's had a couple good showings this season already. He's someone who, when he's 100%, he's very capable of winning any of these tier three type shows. So let's hope. I haven't been checking out his updates, but let's hope Mohammed shows up, 95 to 100% here.
Well, I'm a big Mohammed fan. I had him on Global the other week, and was he second to Vlad?
Yeah, that sounds right. So
isn't it weird? It doesn't Italy feel like months ago now?
Yeah, there's so many shows. It seems like they've been months, but they can't have been that long ago. It's only early October now.
Well, Mohammed's only done one show this year. He did the Italy show, the Yamamoto show. That's right. And I've got it. I got that he was second in my head too, because I had him and Vlad both on Global. I had 1 and 2, like I did with Patrick and Mark the other week with this show, with the France show. But I want to see. He usually gets better as the shows go along. Actually, that's not true, because he looked great at the India. That was his first show last year, and that was probably one of his best looks. But if he is sharper, which I'm fully assuming he will be, he was a lot bigger this year as well. I wouldn't be surprised if he could push past Mark and James, actually, because he's a big dude. He's got some great shots. His back's a lot thicker, wider, and I hope that if he just gets that conditioning right, he's still retaining all the size he has gained in the last year. But I think he's absolutely fantastic. So it's going to be an interesting top 3 there.
Yeah, this is a good show, because nobody in there is like an established Olympian who just needs to pick up a qualification randomly. These are guys who are all fighting for it. So next guy I'm excited to see, because he is massive, from Brazil. Doesn't sound like a very Brazilian name, but he is Brazilian. William Martins. Good Lord, this guy is massive. I actually reposted one of his stories on Instagram the other day, just because it was a leg press, and the size and the detail in his legs was insane as he was doing it. All the splits, and I love all those deep cuts. I think that's how everybody should have deep muscle separation. But William, very, very impressive. I don't think I've ever seen him compete, so I'm curious to see how he does.
Well, he did the Arnold Brazil earlier in the year, and he was top 5 there. I can't remember that's the one that Rafael won, Rafael Brandao.
Right.
And he's really, really good. He's got very, very good condition. But for me, the back still needs a bit of work. I just wondered because he made improvements in his back, but he still needs to thicken it out. Because he reminds me a little bit of Dennis Wolf. That's kind of the frame size, the sweep on the legs. There's a few, but I feel like this is a guy on his way. And I did see that posing one from the back and everything, and his delts look like Coke cans. I mean, they were absolutely enormous. But he just looks big and round and full. I just hope that when he dries out, it doesn't kind of all come off the back, because that is Achilles' heel, because it kind of spoils his frontal bicep, because his lats are quite high. But if he can get a little bit more thickness and a bit more fullness in that area, I mean, he's got one of the best side chests in the industry right now. I think his side chest, because he's got this crazy ham drop, the crazy outer calf, and crazy arms and shoulders. But he's still a work in progress. But I absolutely see that he'll be a first call out guy for sure.
Yeah, you see how often that we point to the back is the one thing guys need to bring up. It seems to be the missing puzzle piece for a lot of guys.
But who in the top 6 Olympia has a weak back though?
Nobody, but I'm saying you're not going to get to the top 60. That's why I'm hesitant to say Andrew Jack is going to be pushing for top 5 this year. I think he needs another off season to really get that back to match everything else. And then that's when he's going to be pushing Rami and Bonac and Hunter and Nick and these guys.
100% agree on that. 100% agree, because there is, like, from the back, he's not a top 6 guy yet. I would like to stress the word yet, because I think another year or two, because he's only done a handful of shows. I think another year or two, I think he's going to be absolutely a top 6 Olympia, first call out guy. And I think Rami will probably be having sort of sweaty nightmares about him.
I mean, I'm not going to count those 2 shows he did in Dubai, because they look like, impromptu things that somebody set up in a living room. So he's really only, I'm joking, guys, don't get mad at me. Where's Dubai. But he's only done 3 shows, really: the Arnold Amateur, the Texas Pro, and the Arnold UK. So give this guy a little bit of time. I know people are in a rush to see these people go all the way to the top of Mount Olympus, but give him a little time, guys. He was an amateur 6 months ago.
Ron, don't you find? I mean, I know we all get excited about the new guys, especially when they do well. And like Andrew's won a couple of shows, but I mean, I would love to see, possibly this year, I wouldn't mind seeing Andrew Jack next to Crizzo, because these are the 2 hot new guys that everyone's going crazy about, and you're getting huge, like, either likes and comments. I mean, this is the 2 people that are probably trending the most, in terms of new fit. Like, everyone was talking about Nick Walker last year. Everyone was going crazy last year. And now everyone's going crazy about these 2 guys. They're both over 6 foot. They've both got a huge amount of potential. Crizzo's a little bit younger than Jack, but
Crizzo is competing this weekend, isn't he, in Italy?
Amateur.
So I don't know what the policy is, but maybe we could see him in the Tsunami Pro.
I know. Do you know what? I think he'd be crazy not to, but I think because his sponsors are the EVLS Prague people, were flying me out to Prague, myself and Lauren do the live stream in a couple of weeks. I think they want to hold him back, because they just want the big reveal, because it's a big, especially when he gets his pro card, unless somebody turns up, and I mean, I can't see it. I can't see it. I mean, my God, I mean, that would have to be like the unluckiest show to do if somebody turned up better than him, or he came in, and he's not going to come in off, because I mean, every update he looks, since I saw him doing a video in last chest workout, and he just looks amazing. The guy's incredible. And like, I don't think people realize he's big, but he's like 6'1", isn't he? 6'2" or something.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
I mean, that's and with arms like that, and he's got it. Like, great legs. Like I said, people said he needs a bit more back, but so does Andrew Jack.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Last guy we'll talk about, all the way from Czech Republic, former 212 standout, Milan Shadek. I think I said it right. Milan, very, very good. I haven't seen him in a little while, but he's very, very consistent with the conditioning. Beautiful shape and proportions. I don't think he's a whole lot heavier than he was at 212. I think he's in the mid 220s, something like that. But that's all you need. A lot of times they don't need to go from 212 to 280 or something, for God's sake. Sometimes 10 or 15 pounds makes a tremendous difference on physique. So looking forward to see what Milan's got to bring. It's been a while since I've seen him.
Yeah, he came right at the gates in 2017. He won the Charlotte Pro. Then he got top 5 at the Olympia in the 212. And I mean, I spoke to him a couple of times, and he said, God, it was torture getting down to 212. So it was inevitable this guy was going to move up to the Open. Yeah. When he moved up to the Open, he's done pretty well. He's had some top 3s. Was he top 3 at the New York Pro?
I for some reason I had in my head that he won the New York Pro 212, but I think he was top 3.
I'm sure he came back and got top 3 as an Open. I've got that in my head. Sometimes you have these things, this data floating around. But I mean, at the end of the day, the guy has done very well. And then last year, I was kind of expecting big things, and he looked good, but I didn't see any drastic improvements. And I saw an update video today, and he kind of looks as good as he ever does. He's very symmetrical. He's got nice kind of separation. He's got one of those physiques that ticks every box. He looks good in every pose. He's not missing anything. Very symmetrical, very kind of balanced. And
quad sweep, yes.
Yeah, big calves, big meaty, thick calves, so I hate the guy. So
great delts. Yeah, I love this physique.
Yeah, and the thing is, and also I tell you what I said on the forum about, we were talking about people who don't have smooth shoulders. And there's a guy that actually has really nice, stripy
delts.
Yeah, stripy delts. And also, like I said, you can see the 3 heads in the radial biceps. So and that's something that actually, sadly, is becoming sort of quite rare nowadays.
Yeah. So if anyone hears that phrase "stripy delts," this is the man who originated, Giles. Yeah, because I've got to give you credit. You know, we come up with our little catchphrases here and there, and that's yours, stripy delts. I'm stealing it.
I'm going to start a campaign, #stripy delts, bringing it back or something. Make bodybuilding great again. Bring back the stripy delts.
I mean, it adds so much in like a side. When you see a side tricep, of course, we're looking at a lot of other body parts, but when they have a billion striations going down, that really adds a lot to the shot.
Did you see that shot that Brandon Curry posted right before the Olympia last year? And he was in heavy shadow. And it was a side tricep, and he was trying to just tease a little bit of what was to come at the Olympia. And you just saw that this light hitting his shoulders and all these lovely, beautiful lines in it. And I just thought, oh, good on you, Brandon. Because I mean, imagine, because I mean, you know who I've said that have Hadi and Rami basically that have got the swollen shoulders. And I know, and I'm sometimes I feel like I'm singing to an empty auditorium, but like thing is, but then again, with the guts and stuff like that, eventually the bodybuilders started to take note and wearing girdles and doing vacuums. And I just think it's a bad road to go down. And I just wonder if the judges or when they will start to mark that down, because for me, like I can't even look at Rami's updates without my eyes going straight to his shoulders for the wrong reason. And the thing is, everything else looks incredible. Right. Tiny little waist, he's wide, he's in good condition. And I think maybe my eye is too trained to look for these things, but that's what I see, and it kind of.
Yeah, and sometimes I look at the comments trying to defend it, and I'm not condemning him or anything like that. But when they say, "Well, he just worked out, he's pumped," I'm like, your muscle doesn't change shape when it's pumped. It's a little more swollen, but the shape doesn't change, guys. Come on, you don't have to make excuses for them. So I want to let everyone know Sunday we're going to be doing coverage all darn day, from super early in the morning for those in the US, because Rome is 6 hours ahead of, East Coast, Boston, New York. It is 9 hours ahead of the West Coast. So good Lord. Thank goodness you're there, Giles, because I'm not waking up at 2 and 3 in the morning to start covering that show. I'm sorry. I need my beauty sleep. Look at me. So you'll be doing that in the morning, and then I'll pick it up for Legion. We'll probably keep the live stream going all day. So guys, we encourage you to get on the live chat, comment. We're gonna be having video highlights and so forth from the streams. Don't know if right now if Tsunami has a stream. We should be hearing about that soon. I know Legion Sports does. Legion Sports. You can go to centerpodium.com or legionsportsfest.com to pick that up. It's $44.95 for 3 days worth, or you can do individual packages, and it gives you replays to all the past Legion Sports shows as well.
I mean, Chris Minnis, sorry, Chris Minns. Yeah. I've been calling Chris Minns for ages. So I mean, he really is. I would say he's in the top 5, maybe even the top 3 best pro league promoters in the world, on the planet, bar none.
Yeah, and I interviewed him yesterday, and he let me know that with the pay-per-view, any profit the pay-per-view makes goes directly into the purse for the athletes. He's raised the purse every year. His goal is to eventually have like $500,000 in cash prizes for all the athletes in divisions. Right now, it's, I think, 44,000, something like that.
And he's really bringing those masters. He's giving those masters guys and ladies somewhere to compete. And he's doing I couldn't believe how many divisions he was doing. And the thing is, some of the numbers are quite small divisions. And I thought he could have just gone, okay, just one master's class. So you got 40s and 60-year-olds or whatever. But I really respect the fact that he's kind of going out on a limb, like they did with female bodybuilding when they took it away from the Olympia. And guys like Jake Wood and Tim Gardner and Lena, they just kept it going. They kept giving these competitors somewhere to sort of show their physiques. And I really admire him for doing that. It's incredible. Yeah,
because the masters, I'm 53. I know a lot of these people. They really don't have much of a chance in the open. A lot of them, they're 45, 55 years old, and they're up against 25, 30-year-olds. It's not really a fair way to compete. So having these does give them somewhere a fair venue where they're on an even playing field against people of their own age group. So props to all the promoters out there who include the Masters Pro divisions.
And you don't look a day over 52, Ron. I don't care what anyone says.
That's the light. That's why I have the light so dim in here. Yeah.
Ron, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Do you do Botox?
I do not. My wife does. But no, I do not. Full disclosure, I did have something injected that sucked the fat. What was it called?
Tread.
No. I can't think of the name of it. I had something injected 2 years ago that took the fat, because you remember I had those chubby cheeks all the time.
Yeah. I thought it was I just thought it was because you got swollen, all dieted and stuff.
Well, part of that is staying leaner, but I did have something like that done. So yeah, but I have no Botox. If you look when I smile, I do have the wrinkles and everything. But that's
they've probably taken out your face and put it in all those wellness girls' asses.
I think they would need a lot more fat than whatever they took out of my face to do that. There's some substantial glutes in wellness. So guys, if you're not subscribed to the channel already, make sure you do that. Subscribe to the channel, and that bell is very important. Smash that bell thing so you get notifications when we go live. Look at the Phil Heath cover. Yeah. And of course, give us your comments right here. We love hearing your feedback. We get back to you. We like to interact with you guys in the comments. See what you guys think. Agree with us, disagree with us, think we're geniuses, think we're morons. It's all good, guys.
I don't like it because I've been getting so much shit for Andrew Jack. What I've been saying about it.
It's usually they're saying you're drunk if you didn't think you had him fourth place. You had him fourth place in at the UK show. So that's it, guys. Sunday, October 9th, full day of coverage on this channel. Giles in the morning. Me, Ron, I'll pick it up a little bit later, but we're going to be going all day and night. It's 2 shows in 1 day. It's phenomenal because Olympia is coming up. We got to get more people qualified so we have 1 billion people on the Olympia stage. Yeah, no, we don't want that. That's another discussion. That's a whole other discussion. So Giles, thank you so much for coverage today. Our preview of 2 shows, Legion Sports Fest and the Tsunami Pro. Wow, what a weekend. So you European guys got a show. You Americans got a show this weekend. It's all good. That's it. Giles, thanks for joining me. Everyone, thanks for watching. And we'll see you Sunday right here on Muscular Development's YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.